Now let us start the chapter Understanding the Earth. In this chapter we have to read these things. First, structure of the earth, means we have to learn about here the layer of the earth, crust, mantle and core. And second, classification of the rocks, what different types of rocks we have to read in this chapter, that igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and about the metamorphic rocks. And last is the about the rock cycle. Rock cycle we have to read here the cyclic formation of the these different types of rocks. And lastly we have to read here uses of rocks and minerals. Understood? Now here you see the newsmaker. What is up here? It is written about something about Norman L. Bowen. Who is this? Norman L. Bowen is considered as one of the pioneer of the field of experimental petrology. Here a new word has petrology. Petrology, a new word, petrology has came. What is the meaning of this petrology? The scientific study of rocks. So Norman L. Bowen is the leader that he has studied about the rocks, and he is particularly known for the conducting studies related to the origin of igneous rocks. Means igneous rocks के बारे में, origin कहाँ से होता है, कैसे होता है, उनके बारे में स्टडी करने में सबसे पहले लीडर्स माने जाते हैं, पहले लीडर माने जाते हैं नॉर्मन एल बोवेन. ठीक है. And here you have to keep remember what is petrology. Petrology is the scientific study of the rocks. Understood? Now here you can see the at a glance what you have to read here. The earth is divided into 3 concentric layers. Concentric layers, concentric means जिसमें सेंटर एक होता है और उसके सर्कल, सेंटर के कई सर्कल्स होते हैं, उनके अंदर मीन्स स्मॉल सर्कल के सराउंडेड, उससे बड़ा सर्कल, फिर उससे बड़ा सर्कल, इस तरह से होता है. तो द अर्थ इज डिवाइडेड इनटू 3 concentric layers. First is crust, second is mantle and third one is core. Okay. Now you see the earth consists of variety of rocks and minerals. What are these rocks are there? We have to study in this chapter many, we can consider many rocks about that, but here we have to, in this class we have to read about these 3 igneous rocks, about the metamorphic rocks. Okay? And the cyclic formation and development of these 3 types of rocks is known as the rock cycle. What is rock cycle? The cyclic formation and development of these 3 types of rocks. Okay. So you can understand that in this chapter what we have to read. We are knowing about the upper layer of the earth. What is there? You can see their river, you can see their mountain, you can see their plains, you can see their trees and many more things. But you are not aware about what is inside the earth. In this chapter we will read about what is inside the earth. Now turn the page. Here is, I am going to show you a warm up exercise. Look at the figure now. Observe the parts of apple and notice the parts of resemble the interior structure of the earth. Imagine the apple as a model of the earth's interior, and label the different layers found inside the earth in the given blanks. So you can see here is the earth and one part is taken out from the earth. The apple is look like a earth and one part is taken out from the earth. So you can see earth layers. First, skin. Skin is just like as a crust. What is? It is crust. Flesh is mantle. and core, it is core, and seed is inner core, inner core. Okay. In this chapter, we have all learned about these 3 layers of the earth. Now, let us explain line by line explanation of this chapter. We have earlier learnt that the earth is about 4 to 5 billion years old. Various gases and dust particles in space cool down eventually to form the structure of the earth since the time of its origin. The earth is continuously experiencing changes both inside and outside its surface. It is therefore called a dynamic planet. What is called dynamic planet? So this means here various gases and dust particles in space cool down eventually to form the structure of the earth. तो बहुत सारे स्पेस में बहुत बिलियंस ऑफ ईयर्स पहले ओरिजिन, जो अर्थ का ओरिजिन है वो कहा जाता है बिलियंस ऑफ ईयर्स पहले का है. और वो भी कैसे हुआ, धीरे धीरे गैसेस, डस्ट और डस्ट पार्टिकल्स स्पेस में कूल डाउन होने के बाद ये अर्थ का स्ट्रक्चर फॉर्म्ड हुआ. तो एक बात इसमें कही जाती है, सिंस द टाइम ऑफ इट्स ओरिजिन द अर्थ कंटिन्यूसली एक्सपीरियंस चेंजेस. अर्थ में ऑलवेज चेंजेस होते जा रहे हैं, कंटिन्यूस, जिसके कारण मीन्स इनसाइड एंड आउटसाइड सरफेस, इनसाइड अर्थ के अंदर और बाहर दोनों में चेंजेस होते जा रहे हैं. तो जिसके कारण अर्थ को क्या कहा जाता है, डायनामिक प्लैनेट. यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दिस. Why the earth is, the question can be asked, why the earth is called dynamic planet? So you can give the answer like this way. From the origins, from the time of its origin, the earth is continuously experiencing changes both inside and outside its surface. That's why it is called a dynamic planet, isn't it? Now here is geology is the science which deals with the study of the structure of the earth, and the experts called geologists study the formation and structure of the interior of the earth. Here in this chapter we are going to learn about the structure of the earth. So the science that is study about that deals with the structure of the earth, that is called geology. What is called? Geology. And the experts who studied the formation and the structure of the interior of the earth, they are called geologists. The person is called geologist who study the formation and structure of the interior of the earth. Okay. So here is, you got two terms, geology and geologist. Geology is the science which deals with the study of the structure of the earth, and the geologist is the experts, is the person who study the formation and structure of the interior of the earth, isn't it? Okay. Now come to the next topic about the structure of the earth. If you can an onion, you will notice that it has layers that are one inside another. Similarly, the earth is divided into 3 concentric layers, that is crust, mantle and core. Let us discuss them one by one. So concentric layer आपको पहले ही बताया, concentric means which has a common center. Small circle is led by another big circle. So earth is like this way, a concentric layers. First layer is crust, inside that mantle, and mantle inside there is core, isn't it? Okay. Now we can see here, first one by one we will read here. Crust. What is crust? The solid outermost layer of the earth composed of rocks and minerals is known as crust. The solid outermost layer of the earth is known as crust. Okay, outermost layer जो अर्थ का जो सबसे outermost layer होता है वो कहलाता है crust. It is extremely thin layer and its average thickness varies between 8 किलोमीटर to 50 किलोमीटर. ये जो crust की layer है वो बिल्कुल थिन लेयर है और वो वेरी करेगी 8 किलोमीटर टू 50 किलोमीटर. इनकी थिकनेस होती है 8 किलोमीटर टू 50 किलोमीटर. द क्रस्ट कंप्राइजेस टू डिस्टिंक्ट लेयर्स में दो लेयर है, एक कॉन्टिनेंटल क्रस्ट और दूसरा है ओशियनिक क्रस्ट. लेट अस सी व्हाट इज कॉन्टिनेंटल क्रस्ट. द अपर continental crust or Sial. The upper continental crust or Sial. It forms the uppermost layer of the Earth's crust in the continental areas. अब इसमें इसके फीचर्स क्या होते हैं? It is thickness up to 50 kilometer and it consists of lighter rocks rich in silica and alumina or aluminium. और ये जो consist है, ये जो अपर लेयर है वो किससे मिलकर बना हुआ है? अ लाइटर रॉक्स, एंड दैट लाइटर रॉक्स इज कंसिस्ट ऑफ सिलिका एंड एल्यूमिनियम. दैट इज इन शॉर्ट फॉर्म वी आर कैन से दैट इट इज अबाउट द सियाल. ओके, सियाल. अब नाउ द सेकेंड पार्ट इज द लोअर ओशियनिक क्रस्ट और सीमा. Lower oceanic crust or seema. It is a continuous layers. It may range from few meters to 10 kilometer in thickness. The main minerals of this layers are silica and magnesium. इसको आपको याद रखना है कि oceanic crust है, that is constituents of main minerals is silica and magnesium. एंड शॉर्ट फॉर्म में इट इज सीमा. तो यहाँ पर हमने देखा कि क्रस्ट, जो क्रस्ट है इट इज कंप्राइजेस टू डिस्टिंक्ट लेयर्स. एक कॉन्टिनेंटल क्रस्ट और दूसरा ओशियनिक क्रस्ट. क्योंकि वाटर बॉडीज जब हम अर्थ में देखते हैं तो जो अपर लेयर्स है सारे लैंड मैसेस. कॉन्टिनेंटल क्रस्ट इज लैंड मैसेस एंड ओशियनिक इज जो रिवर बॉडी होती है, जो वाटर डोमेन्स होता है, दैट इज कॉन्टिनेंटल ओशियनिक क्रस्ट. अब ये रिवर या वाटर बॉडीज के नीचे भी जो लैंड मैसेस है दैट इज कॉल्ड ओशियनिक क्रस्ट. ठीक है, और उनकी जो थिकनेस होती है वो 10 किलोमीटर नियर अबाउट 10 किलोमीटर होती है. रेंज अबाउट 10 किलोमीटर. ओके, नाउ नेक्स्ट इज द नेक्स्ट लेयर इज mantle. Mantle or the mesosphere. You have to remember this crust. And its average depth is 2900 kilometer. The temperature of the mantle is extremely high and it contains molten magma which comes to the surface during volcanic eruption as lava. अब इस पैराग्राफ में ये बताया गया है कि जो मेंटल है इसमें यहाँ पर जो टेम्परेचर होती है वो एक्सट्रीमली हाई होती है, जिसके कारण जो रॉक्स है वो किस फॉर्म में होते हैं? मोल्टेन फॉर्म में होते हैं. दैट इज़ कॉल्ड, उसको हम कंटेन्स मोल्टेन मैग्मा विच कम्स टू, और वो जब बाहर निकलती है तो इट्स ड्यूरिंग वॉल्केनिक एरप्शन एंड इट इज़ नोन एज दैट टाइम लावा. ठीक है, दिस मेंटल इज डिवाइडेड इनटू 3 लेयर्स. अब ये मेंटल भी 3 लेयर्स में डिवाइड है. अपर मेंटल, मिडिल मेंटल एंड लोअर मेंटल. अपर मेंटल, middle mantle and lower mantle. The lithosphere or outer sphere of the solid rock includes the crust and the uppermost solid part of the mantle. uppermost mantle का जो part होता है वो थोड़ा solid होता है ना. The lithosphere or the outer sphere of the solid rock includes the crust and the uppermost solid part of the mantle. जो lithosphere है वो किससे बना हुआ है? Uppermost solid part of the mantle and the crust. Okay. Now, did you know the middle mantle extends up to 300 kilometer in depth? अब ये हमारी बात आ गई 300 किलोमीटर जो डेप्थ होती है वो किसकी होती है? मिडिल मेंटल. ड्यू टू इंटेंस हीट एंड रॉक्स हियर आर पार्शियली मोल्टेन एंड देयरफॉर इन अ फ्लो स्टेट. अब यहाँ पर बहुत ज़्यादा हीट और के कारण और प्रेशर के कारण द रॉक्स आर पार्शियली मोल्टेन एंड देयरफॉर ए फ्लो स्टेट. मीन्स मोल्टेन और फ्लो स्टेट में होते हैं, बहाव होती है उसमें. दिस लेयर इज ऑल्सो नोन एज asthenosphere. What is called? Asthenosphere. ये आपको याद रखना है. Middle mantle is known as asthenosphere. In Greek, asthenos means to flow. What is to flow? और क्यों middle mantle is in partially molten way? Why it is it like that? Due to intense heat. बहुत ज़्यादा heat के कारण यहाँ जो rocks है वो किस तरह की होती है? मोल्टेन होती है. मोल्टेन. ओके. पिघले हुए फॉर्म में होती है, पार्शियली पिघले हुए फॉर्म में होती है ना. सॉरी. नेक्स्ट लेयर मीन्स innermost layer is about the core. What is core? The innermost layer of the earth is known as the core or the barysphere. अभी यहाँ पर भी आपको एक नया नाम मिला, साइंटिफिक नेम barysphere. Innermost layer of the earth is known as core. कोर भी बोलते हैं और उनको barysphere भी बोलते हैं. अभी हमने आगे देखा मिडिल मेंटल को क्या बोलते हैं? एस्थेनोस्फेयर. आपको याद रखना, मिडिल मेंटल एस्थेनोस्फेयर. एस्थेनोस्फेयर करके आपको अबाउट दैट यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन एस्थेनोस्फेयर. तो आपको वहाँ घबराना नहीं है. You have to write about the middle mantle. Here the rock is in which form? Normally found in partial molten and flow state. Similarly, in core, the innermost layer is called core or barysphere. Okay. Now, it is about 3,500 kilometer thickness and goes down to a depth of 6,370 kilometer. So you can see, means the depth of this core is 3,500 kilometer to 6,370 kilometer. It is mainly made of heavy metals. It is made of heavy metals like nickel and iron. And thus it is also known as knife. The short form of nickel and iron is knife or knife. दोनों में से आप कहते हैं knife भी बोल सकते हो, knife भी बोल सकते हो. This gives the earth its magnetic field. What is by which cause the earth gives us a magnetic field? Due to this metals. Which metals found there in core? That nickel and iron. ठीक है? Okay. Now let us see. The temperature in the core ranges from 3000 degree centigrade to 6000 degree centigrade. The temperature कितने में यहाँ पर पाए जाते हैं? 3000 degree centigrade to 6000 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड. तो इमेजिन कि टेम्परेचर कितना हाई होता है इन कोर. द सेंट्रल कोर हैज़ एक्सट्रीमली हाई प्रेशर एंड टेम्परेचर. सेंट्रल कोर में एक्सट्रीमली हाई प्रेशर एंड टेम्परेचर होते हैं. तो ऑल दिस लेयर्स वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम दिस फिगर. ओके. हियर इज, यू कैन सी it is a earth, है ना. and just taken out a piece of earth, like a slice of cake taken out. Here it is the a piece of earth taken out, a part is there. Now see, the uppermost layer is what is called? Here is uppermost layer, that is called crust. What is called? Crust. Here you see crust, uppermost layer. And the second yellow layer, it is called mantle. Okay? Now here orange part, it is called outer core, and the red part is called inner core. This is the portion, it is core, the outer core and inner core. And the mantle is divided into also in three parts: upper mantle, asthenosphere or middle mantle, lower mantle. Understood? And you can see here what is found in the lithosphere. What is lithosphere? It is includes part of the crust and the upper solid parts of the mantle, that consist of lithosphere. Next class में हम लोग इसके बारे में पढ़ेंगे. Okay. Now see there, what is found in there? In upper layer of the crust, mountain, continent, and the height of the crust is about 8 to 50 kilometer, and the height of the mantle is 100 kilometer to 2900 kilometer. Okay. And the height of the core is 370 kilometer. Okay, so here we have seen the layers of the earth. Upper layer is crust, middle layer is mantle, and inner layer is core. Mantle is divided into, consists of three layers: upper mantle, middle mantle and lower mantle. Upper mantle is also known as asthenosphere. Now the core is also consists of outer core and inner core. Core is also called as barysphere. So all the things you have to keep remember. Now in this video I am going to explain about the rocks and minerals. As we in earlier video we have seen that about the different layers of the earth, and that layers are crust, mantle and core. Now we have to see here that the earth's crust consists of a variety of rocks and minerals. Crust consists of variety of rocks and minerals, and in this topic I am going to explain different types of rocks. Okay. Now a mineral is a naturally occurring inorganic substance which contains one or more elements with definite physical and chemical properties. What is mineral? A mineral is a naturally occurring inorganic substance which is contain one or more elements with definite physical and chemical properties. The study of minerals is known as mineralogy. You have to remember this one. The study of minerals is known as mineralogy. Here is the some minerals that is found in rocks, that is quartz, feldspar, mica and so on are the common rock forming minerals. Okay. Now rocks are natural masses of mineral matter in the crust of the earth. So you can question can ask, what is rocks? The rocks are the natural masses of mineral matter in the crust of the earth, isn't it? They are composed one or more minerals and include the hard and compact rocks like granite and diamond, as well as loose particles such as clay, mud and sand. तो इनके फीचर्स क्या हो सकते हैं? दे आर कंपोज्ड ऑफ वन और मोर मिनरल, एक से ज़्यादा भी मिनरल्स हो सकते हैं, एंड इंक्लूड द हार्ड एंड कॉम्पैक्ट रॉक्स. हार्ड रॉक्स भी हो सकते, कॉम्पैक्ट रॉक्स भी हो सकते, लाइक ग्रेनाइट एंड डायमंड, एज वेल एज लूज पार्टिकल्स. रॉक्स के लूज पार्टिकल्स भी हो सकते, जैसे क्ले होते, मड हुए, सैंड हुए, इज लाइक दिस वे. ओके, the rocks have different colors and sizes. और फीचर्स ऑफ रॉक्स के बारे में आपको कुछ लिखना है तो आपको ये जान के होना चाहिए, पता होना चाहिए कि रॉक्स आर हैविंग वन और मोर मिनरल्स. इट मे बी हार्ड और कॉम्पैक्ट लाइक डायमंड और ग्रेनाइट, एंड इट हैज़ बीन ऑल्सो लूज पार्टिकल्स such as clay, mud and sand. Another features is rocks have different colors, sizes and texture. Rocks have different colors, sizes and textures. Rocks which contain a particular metallic mineral in large quantities are known as ores. So what is ores? A particular metallic mineral in a large quantities are known as ores. For instance, bauxite is in an ore of aluminium and hematite is in ore of iron. ठीक है, कच्चे माल जो बोलते हैं ना, कच्चा ओर इज आयरन ओर, तो कच्चे लोहा विच इज़ फाउंड इन द फॉर्म ऑफ विच इज़ एक्सट्रैक्ट फ्रॉम द रॉक्स. ओके, तो यहाँ पर बोला जाए बॉक्साइट है, बॉक्साइट इज़ द ओर ऑफ एल्युमिनियम एंड हेमाटाइट इज़ द ओर ऑफ iron. You have to remember this one. Steel, and steel is used for which purpose? In many ways, and making building and automobile and any structure, making any structure, steel is very necessary, useful. It is thousands of things are made up from steel. It is the part of our life. So various ways in which iron ore is used. The iron ore is what is made extracted from that iron, and iron, from iron what is made? Steel. Okay, now next is classification of rocks. Classification of the rocks. The rocks are classified into three. Geologists have classified rocks into three major groups. That is igneous, sedimentary and metamorphic. आपको याद रखना है कि rocks are classified into three: igneous, sedimentary and metamorphic. On the basis of, they are on the basis of formation, on the basis of appearance and the kind of minerals which constitute them. Which type of minerals is constituent them. Now first we will read about igneous rocks. Now let us read. The word igneous derived from the Latin word ignis, means fire. Igneous is derived from the Latin word ignis, means fire. It refers to rocks formed by the cooling and solidification of hot lava and magma. It refers to rocks. How it is formed? By cooling and solidification of hot lava and magma. And this is magma. Where it is found? Where it is found? It is found in mantle. है ना? You have written earlier. These rocks are still being formed due to volcanic activity. Volcanic eruption के through this magma come out on the earth's surface. Since they were the first to be formed, they are also preferred to as primary rocks. Since they were the first to be formed, they are also referred as to primary rocks. सबसे पहले igneous rocks formed होते हैं, that's why it is known as primary rocks. On the basis of origin, igneous rocks may be classified into two. Which reaches the earth's surface as lava through volcanic vents or fissures, cools and solidifies, forming the extrusive or volcanic rocks. What they form? Extrusive and volcanic rocks. तो हमने क्या देखा कि from the origin, on the basis of the origin, igneous rocks classified into two. And what are these two igneous rocks? That is extrusive or volcanic rocks. Extrusive or volcanic rocks. And another is intrusive or plutonic rocks. Intrusive or plutonic rocks. So let us see what is extrusive rocks. Molten material or magma which reached the earth's surface as lava through volcanic vents or fissures, cools and solidifies, forming extrusive or volcanic rocks. जब molten magma या molten material vents के through अर्थ सरफेस में स्प्रेड करते हैं एज लावा और एयर के संपर्क पे आने पर ये और कूल्स एंड सॉलिड हो जाते हैं, कूल्स एंड सॉलिडिफाइड्स एंड फॉर्मिंग वॉल्केनिक रॉक्स. क्या बनाते हैं? वॉल्केनिक रॉक्स. एयर के exposed to, when the lava is exposed to the air, it cools rapidly and forms volcanic rocks. Okay, now next is about the intrusive rock. And fine-grained crystalline rocks are formed such as basalt. An example of the extrusive rock is basalt and pumic. Next is intrusive rocks. What is intrusive rock? Molten material or magma may also cool and solidify below the earth's surface to form intrusive or plutonic rocks. As the molten material within the earth cools slowly, larger crystals grained crystalline rocks are formed. For example, granite and dolerite. What is granite and dolerite? The example of intrusive rocks. Example is granite and dolerite. तो कभी कभी क्या होता है कि ये जो मोल्टेन मैग्मा है कुछ तो बाहर निकल के एयर के एक्सपोज में आने पर कूल्स हो जाते, रैपिडली ठंडी हो जाते, जल्दी से ठंडे हो जाते और पत्थर का रॉक्स के रूप में स्वरूप में आ जाते हैं. लेकिन कुछ मैग्मा है जो बाहर नहीं निकल पाते और कुछ होल्स और पार्टिकल्स जो पार्ट्स में अर्थ के सरफेस के नीचे धीरे धीरे कूल होने शुरू हो जाते हैं, ठंडे होने शुरू हो जाते हैं और वो जो रॉक्स फॉर्म होता है दैट इज़ कॉल्ड इंट्रूसिव और प्लूटोनिक रॉक्स. ठीक है, और इसके एग्जाम्पल है ग्रेनाइट एंड डॉलराइट. अब हाउ इट इज स्ट्रक्चर. व्हाट इज द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ igneous rocks? Igneous rock usually crystalline in structure as well as hard and compact. तो ये जो igneous rocks है how it is formed? When the volcanic eruptions magma came out and cools down, it's formed igneous rocks. And igneous rocks is usually crystalline in structure as well as hard and compact. They do not allow water to percolate through them. उनसे और वाटर परकोलेट नहीं कर पाते हैं. दे आर नॉट फॉर्म्ड इन लेयर्स. ये लेयर्स में भी नहीं मिलते हैं. they do not contain remains of plants and animals, that is fossils within them. और इसमें fossils भी नहीं पाए जाते हैं. हमें ये जो fossils है ये sedimentary rocks में मिलेंगे, लेकिन igneous rocks में fossils नहीं मिलते. तो we have seen here the three features of the igneous rocks. What are there? Igneous rocks are usually crystalline in structure, as well it is hard and compact. They do not allow water to percolate through them. They are not formed in layers. They do not contain remains of plants and animals, that is fossils within them. Okay. Now next is sedimentary rocks. Next type of rock is sedimentary rocks. The word sedimentary is derived from the Latin word sedentum, which means settle down. ठीक है? Let us learn how they are formed. Now we have seen how the igneous rocks formed. Now we have to see the sedimentary rocks. How the sedimentary rocks formed. Fragments of rocks, decayed remains of plants and organisms, and salts or chemicals are carried by running water, wind and moving ice and are deposited in depressions under water. तो ये जो रॉक्स के जो टुकड़े छोटे छोटे पार्ट्स होने लगते हैं ड्यू टू डिफरेंट एजेंट्स के थ्रू, जैसे वाटर है, विंड है या मूविंग आइज है, इसके साथ साथ क्या रॉक्स के जो छोटे छोटे टुकड़े होने लगते हैं एंड अपने साथ ये रॉक्स के ये सारे जो रोड करके इनको डिपॉजिट करते हैं कहीं पर किसी जगह पर. हाँ, over a period of time this deposit materials or sediments continuously accumulate in layers, और layers के ऊपर layers इस तरह से जमते जाते हैं. जैसे पानी के साथ जब पानी आता है तो उसके साथ साथ पत्थर के टुकड़े भी बहते जाते हैं, बह के आते हैं, और वो पत्थर के टुकड़े किसी एक जगह पर जब बहुत ज़्यादा हेवी होने लगते हैं तो किसी एक जगह पर पानी उसको डिपॉजिट करने लगती है. तो वहाँ डिपॉजिट जब होता है तो दूसरे लेयर, एक लेयर के बाद दूसरा लेयर, एक दूसरे लेयर के बाद तीसरा लेयर, लेयर पर लेयर जमते जाते हैं, एक्यूमुलेट होते जाते हैं. तो दे आर देन कंप्रेस्ड एंड हार्डन, और उसके ऊपर जब प्रेशर पड़ता है कंप्रेस्ड और हार्ड होते जाते हैं धीरे धीरे with the aid of cementing materials such as lime to form mechanical, organic and chemical. They belong to secondary of rock. Sedimentary rocks are softer than igneous rocks. इसको याद रखना है. Sedimentary rocks are softer than igneous rocks and their structure is non-crystalline. Such as rocks at time also contain fossils in between the layers of the sediments. अब कभी कभी क्या होता है कि इनके लेयर्स के बीच में फॉसिल्स आ जाते हैं मरे हुए, जैसे पेड़ पौधे हैं या जानवर हैं, वो जब मर जाते हैं वहाँ पर उनको कोई उठा नहीं पाता है, वहाँ पर वो वहीं पड़े रहते हैं. तो उसके ऊपर जब डिपॉजिशन होते जाता है, सेडिमेंट्स होते जाते हैं रॉक्स के, तो वो धीरे धीरे लेयर्स के बीच में आ जाते हैं. लेयर्स ऑफ द सेडिमेंट्स, सैंडस्टोन, शेल, conglomerate, mudstone, rock salt, limestone and coal are the examples of sedimentary rocks. तो इस तरह से यहाँ पर कुछ एग्जाम्पल दिए गए हैं कि सेडिमेंट्री रॉक्स के वो एग्जाम्पल है. सैंडस्टोन है, मडस्टोन है, शेल है, कोल है, लाइमस्टोन है, रॉक सॉल्ट है. These are the example of sedimentary rocks. And fossils are also found in sedimentary rocks. You have to remember this one. Here you can see sandstone, how it is layered, and this is rock salt. These are the example of sedimentary rock. Now the another type of rocks is metamorphic rocks. The word metamorphic is derived from the Greek word metamorphosis. What is metamorphosis? Which means change of form. Form में change आ जाना. They existing. Igneous and sedimentary rocks change their chemical and physical form due to intense heat and pressure. They form metamorphic rocks. क्या होता है कि due to intense heat and pressure, the metamorphic or sedimentary rocks change their chemical and physical form and they form metamorphic rocks. ठीक है. These process may take million of years. लेकिन ये जो है इसको metamorphic rocks को बनने में millions of years लगते हैं. Interestingly, all metamorphic rocks make extremely good building and construction material. है ना? Metamorphic rocks used for building materials and construction material. One of the example of metamorphic rock is marble. Marble is a metamorphic rock. Now, due to the effect of heat and pressure, they are often banded or layer. Immense heat and pressure, so they are found often in banded or layered. Now, metamorphic rocks usually crystalline structure and perhaps the hardest of all rocks. It is hardest. Suppose we have seen that igneous rocks is hardest than sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks is more hardest than igneous rocks. It is hardest of all rocks. The third point is they rarely have pores and thus do not allow water to percolate through them. हाँ, इसमें बहुत ही रेयर स्पोर्स होते हैं और दे डू नॉट अलाउ टू वाटर टू percolate थ्रू देम. इसे नहीं जा सकता वाटर. दे डू नॉट कंटेन फॉसिल्स. इसमें फॉसिल्स कंटेन नहीं होते हैं. तो दिस ग्रुप ऑल्सो बिलोंग्स टू द सेकेंडरी ग्रुप ऑफ रॉक्स. ये सेकेंडरी ग्रुप रॉक से ही बिलोंग्स करता है ये मेटामॉर्फिक रॉक्स एज दे आर फॉर्म फ्रॉम एग्जिस्टिंग igneous and sedimentary rocks. It is formed from igneous and sedimentary rocks. For example, granite है वो किसमें rocks and it is changes into gneiss, then it is means it is metamorphic. Sandstone to quartzite. Sandstone to quartzite. तो quartzite is also a metamorphic rocks here. Limestone changes into marble. तो यहाँ पर मार्बल भी क्या है? मेटामॉर्फिक रॉक. तो here we have seen about the three types of rocks. Now how the rock cycle, how the cycle of the rocks works. We have to cyclic formation of the rocks. Here we have to see the cyclic formation of the rocks. The rock cycle. With heating, melting, erosion, deposition and chemical action, one group of rocks leads to the formation of another group, and this cyclic formation and development of three types of rocks is known as rock cycle. Okay. तो ये जो through the heating, melting and erosion, deposition and the chemical action, one group of rocks leads to the another formation of another group of, and this cyclic formation and development of three types of rock is known as the rock cycle. Means एक rock से किस तरह से changes आता है, एक rock दूसरे rock के formation में सहयोग करता है. ठीक है. Let us see how it is formed. Igneous or primary rocks formed first, then after. What happened? After being broken down into sediments by natural process like weathering and erosion, these deposited and compacted to form sedimentary rocks. Sediments होके deposition होके क्या बनते हैं? Sedimentary rocks. After being subjected to great heat and pressure, ठीक है? After being subjected to great heat and pressure, igneous and sedimentary rocks are transferred into metamorphic rocks. तो igneous rock से कौन सा rocks form हुआ? Sedimentary rocks. Through sedimentation, due to the some agents like water, air, ice, heat. Through these agents, the igneous rocks broken into pieces and sediments by natural process, weathering or erosion. We can a simple word use for that, weathering. Due to the weathering and the erosion, the sediments by natural process. The igneous rocks broken down into sediments and deposited and compacted to form a sedimentary rocks. Are you understanding or not? यहाँ पर आपको ये समझना है कि जो igneous rocks है, due to the weathering and erosion, it changes into sediments, and sediments is deposited and compacted and form sedimentary rocks. क्या बनाते हैं? Sedimentary rocks बनाते हैं. उसके बाद after being subjected to great heat and pressure, igneous and sedimentary rocks are transferred into metamorphic rocks. After being subjected to great heat and pressure, igneous and sedimentary rocks are transferred into metamorphic rocks. Clear? Now let us see. Metamorphic rocks may be broken down into sediments. Due to the weathering or erosion, metamorphic may be broken down into sediments, and due to the natural process forming sedimentary rocks, and even buried again to form magma. फिर intense heat and pressure, this sediments change into magma. Thus, a cyclical relation exists between three rock groups. इस तरह से ये three rocks group में cyclical relationship है. That is called, and the entire process is powered by energy of the sun and involves process both the surface as well as in the interior of the earth. और ये सारा process है powered by the energy of the sun and involves processes. उनके साथ जो process हो सारे उसमें involves होते हैं, both on the surface as well as in the interior of the earth. surface के ऊपर और surface के नीचे. तो इसमें क्या आपको समझ में आया? The cyclical relationship exists between the three groups. ये three groups of जो rocks हैं उनके बीच में यह cyclical relationship चलता रहता है. सबसे पहले igneous rocks are sediments through weathering and erosion and deposited and compacted to form sedimentary rocks. ठीक है? And afterwards these rocks again due to great heat and pressure, this rocks changes into transformed into metamorphic rocks. Now these things we have to see from this picture how igneous rocks are formed. Here it is, igneous rocks here are found, and layers of the sediment rocks forms strata. Here is igneous rocks found inside the earth. This is the igneous rocks, intrusive igneous rocks. This is extrusive igneous rocks. Metamorphic rocks by heat and pressure. Here is, it is metamorphic rocks. Sedimentary rocks are formed on the seabed. Seabed में भी आपको seabed में भी through the deposition of the river, the sediments are deposited over here and it's form the sediments rock. Here is the form the sediment rocks. Okay, here we can see the three types of rock. Granite is the igneous rocks. It is rich in mineral. Quartz, granite is the most common type of rock in the earth's crust. ठीक है, granite is, here earth is common type of rocks found in earth. Second is coal. It is the sedimentary rock that has a substance amount carbon compounds. Okay, third one is schist. It is also a metamorphic rock. Schist is also a metamorphic rock formed from mudstone, and limestone. It is consist of fine bands, different colored minerals. It is from fine band and different colored stone. So here is the example of three types of rocks. First is the example of igneous rocks. Second, the example of sedimentary rocks. And third is the example of metamorphic rocks. Now, what are the uses of rocks and minerals? As we have seen that crust consists of rocks, and rocks are made of minerals, more than one or two types of minerals. The rocks are बहुत ज़्यादा value है humans के लिए. They are used to make roads and houses. सबसे पहले useful, they are used for to make roads and houses. Second, rocks are used as building material. Building material में इसको used किया जाता है. For example, granite, sandstone and marble. Third uses, minerals such as natural gas, coal and petroleum or fossil fuels are sources of power. बहुत important है. Minerals such as natural gas, coal and petroleum or fossil fuels are sources of power. जो हमारी एनर्जी है, शक्ति है, जो वो फॉसिल फ्यूल्स है, हमारे सोर्सेस ऑफ पावर, हमारी शक्ति का सोर्स है वो, एनर्जी का सोर्स है. नेचुरल गैस, कोल एंड पेट्रोलियम और फॉसिल्स फ्यूल. फॉसिल्स फ्यूल में यहाँ पर हो जाएंगे कोल वगैरह. ठीक है. Now next is, beside rocks have also made agriculture possible as soil is formed by the decomposition or degradation of rocks. So besides rocks have also made agriculture possible as soil is formed by the decomposition or degradation of rocks. Rocks में जो तोड़ फोड़ और डिकम्पोजिशन होते जाते हैं, वो धीरे धीरे हवा के जो से वो डिग्रेड होते जाते हैं, उससे सॉइल बनता है. तो सॉइल किसके लिए यूज़फुल है? पॉसिबल एग्रीकल्चर के लिए. तो एग्रीकल्चर ओनली पॉसिबल व्हेन द सॉइल इज फॉर्म्ड बाय द decomposition or degradation of rocks. Last one is rocks with mineral content are used in different industries: iron, aluminium, gold, uranium and so on. तो mineral contents जिसमें है वो सारे different industries में use होते हैं. ठीक है. Next, chemical found in rocks are also used as fertilizers. Chemicals found in rocks are also used as fertilizers. Fertilizers के में भी ये जो minerals found होते हैं rocks के, वो भी fertilizers के लिए useful होते हैं. Many rocks Many rocks contain fossils which gives us important insights into life in the past. Rocks contain fossils. उससे हमें बहुत सारी जानकारी मिलती है about the life in the past में कैसा life था past में. So we can say that they can help us by telling us about the geological changes, how animals obtained food, reproduced and behaved. They can also provide insight as to how an organism died. Fossils are used to gather information about the lives and evolution of the different living organisms which lived before. So in this way, rocks contain fossils gives us many insight into life in the past. बहुत सारी जानकारी मिलती है हमें कि पास्ट में जो लोग थे, एनिमल्स थे, उनके बिहेवियर के बारे में. So here we have seen uses of rocks and minerals. So this is the very important, the question can be asked from this topic, what are the uses of rocks and minerals. It is depends on the marks. If there is the 2 marks, you have to write at least 4 point. If it is there 3 marks, you have to write at least 4 to 5 points. So here you can write in the exam at least 3 to 4 points according to the marks. So now our chapters has been over.